changing, its own construct, its own molecular structure starts to shift through the division process, the separation process. So by the time it gets here to third density, and we go through this process, and then we have all these mechanisms, we have all this technology, we have all this psychology, we have NLP, we have all these different ways to program ourselves outside of our own awareness. By the time you get here, you're so fragmented it's not even funny. It's like being fragmented into a million pieces. So the journey seems to be much harder. But now that you're aware of this, that you start out in this fragmented state for a reason, there's a reason behind this, then you begin to understand that now you're fully entering into your power again. But you're entering into a stable power, not an unstable power. Greed is unstable. Joy is not unstable, it's stable. Bliss is stable. Gratitude, fully understood, now understood, is stable. See, words themselves, when you speak the word, if you don't know really what the frequency that's coming off that word and what that really is, what that's doing, or the expression coming forward, words are just words. It's the frequency that comes off the word. If you're in a deharmonized state, if you're in a dissension state, and you say a word like that, all you're doing is you're gathering more momentum, because that word represents it's a very powerful word. It carries a lot of energy. That word is also connected to the mass consciousness. The word want. How many times do you think people say want and wish and everything else? And the moment you say it, what do? You tap into that construct of finite consciousness. And then that attaches to every other fragmented piece throughout creation, and it amplifies it back to the singularity point that it was expressed at, which would be your own reality, your own life. So that's what happens. So you're just continually getting patterns and patterns and patterns forming around you. So when we start going into this omnipresent source core memory system, this universal light matrix, and we start connecting back to it, we are repairing the universe. It may look like we're only repairing ourselves, right? And we're repairing planet Earth, and we're ascending, etc. But you're literally ascending every single particle through creation, through your awakening process. That's how important each one of us is on this planet. That's the missing link, because through our own ascending process, because when you start to realize that you're so beyond just a couple of these dimensional points of existence. You're not just third, fourth, fifth density. You're so beyond that. It goes so way beyond that. It's mind-boggling when you start getting into it. That's the other trap. When you go from third density and jump to fifth density, and that's where you think that's where you're going, and that's it, and you have to progress, and you just have to keep kind of progressing and going through this. The only reason why you're going through that process is because you're still fragmented. Like I mentioned before, if you're fragmented and you're going up these dimensions, and those dimensions are also fragmented. The only time they're not fragmented is when you reach the actual singularity point of consciousness where source energy is completely whole. Completely whole, meaning positive and negative, electrons, neutrons, and protons are fully created as the God particle. See, we exist as the God particle. But we also exist as the God particle in a fragmented state of consciousness. When you defrag your system, you defrag and you bring in this energy back to this point, then you'll begin to see. Now, to understand that you're simultaneous, meaning all these multiple spectrums of experience, these multiple lifetimes that are taking place in the moment, and you're going and you're fragmenting your energy on all those creations at the same exact time. So not only are you dealing with this reality, you're dealing with multiple realities that are doing the exact same thing. So it creates this huge black hole. It creates this huge level of resistance, and then you keep going through the level and cycle of reincarnation over and over and over again, and not having any memory of anything, because you're entering into a finite construct where the memory system is damaged. from the start. So you kind of have to start over again. You have to rebuild. You have to bring in that source energy and ground it into third density. And the more you do that, the more balanced information, the more harmonized the information that is downloaded. We can look all over the planet. We can look at different beings talking about ascended masters. We can talk about people channeling different things. But how harmonized is that information coming in? It sounds awesome to the extent we hear Nassar, we hear all these different things, but start breaking it down and start looking at the actual frequency that it carries. And when you go into that, you can see what kind of construct it exists as. If it's raising you to ascension or descension, you can feel the difference because we're getting more and more sensitive. The more we open up, we're getting more and more sensitive. Let's see, it's 7:35 my time, and we're just going to take a quick break here. Log back in. Looks like I got kicked out again. And you can actually call in 646-929-2151, 646-929-2151. Anybody that's out there, and you press 1, and it'll take you into listening mode as well. If you press 1, you'll raise your hand. I'll know that you feel like asking a question or interacting with me, and then I can bring you live on the air. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to just take and breathe in this beautiful spectrum, this song, and it's a beautiful song, and it's somewhere over the rainbow, but it's another version of that. And really and truly, we are that rainbow bridge. Somewhere over the rainbow is us. It's an expression of us. It's the interconnecting back to who we truly are. The rainbow represents the 7 chakra system, but at the end of the rainbow is this crystallized white gold, this light. When it hits this, it enters into a multi-spectrum color experience beyond the 7 colors, beyond the sounds that the 7 colors create. It's a multi-spectrum harmonics too. See, the bridge is where everything starts. When you connect to that bridge can extend to the next singularity point of consciousness, which means it opens up a new level of perception. It's a journey. So you go from one point, you expand in that, and then you go to the next point, you expand in that, you go to the next point, and you expand in that. And this is what it means to be a time traveler. We are time travelers. We may not be fully conscious of it at times because the way the time construct has been put in place. But we are the gatekeepers of time. You can start decoding that too, and I have a process. There's a chart and stuff I'm working on. And there's a lot of different things I'm working on. I'm working directly with the different ascension centers that are being created on the planet. Costa Rica project over there in Costa Rica for opening up this level of reconnecting back to nature, reconnecting back beyond the monetary system. There's a lot of cool things that are occurring, and that's part of the simultaneous synchronization that I continue talking about. And the Stargate series also talks about that too. You go through the Stargate series, you can see how this whole process has it's developed, and it just continues getting more intricate. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and here we go. See you in the next moment.